kind of a rant video, I guess, that I've been kind of wanting to talk about for a while. This is one of those issues that people don't really talk about, I suppose. But I guess I'll be the first to bring it up. Okay, so we naturals, as we like to call it, we like to put ourselves in a group. Put ourselves in this category that we're natural. We're figuring out our hair, and we're learning more about ourselves and about our race, and learning to live our natural hair and all the other stuff. And one thing that gets me is that people don't realize that being natural is so much more than just hair. So much more. It involves eating healthier, changing your lifestyle, making healthier choices, healthier habits, all that other stuff. Just overall being a better person. And one pet peeve that I have is when I go to natural hair events and people bring their children. They bring their children because a lot of times these events, they have children event. They have children things to do. They have things for children to do, different fun things. So, they won't be bored while their parents are, networking or buying, shopping, whatever else. And the thing that gets me is that all these women come to these events, they bring their kids and they're so happy that they're being natural, and they think they're really doing something just because their hair is no longer permed. They really think they're doing something. But I say no, you're not. Because what these women do is that they bring their kids, and not only do they halfway not watch their kids while they're at these events, but their kids are bad, and I mean really bad. I remember one time I went to the World Natural Hair Show here in Atlanta, and they had one of those bounce houses, one of those things kids jump in, and the line was kind of long. It was pretty long, and I had Soraya with me. I had my oldest daughter, Soraya. She was probably around maybe 3.5 or 4 years old then, maybe, I don't remember. And she was online to get in that bounce house. And all the kids that were online, they weren't really cooperating. They were bad. Of course, they were pushing each other, knocking each other over, and everything else. Just brats. And I'm looking at the parents of these kids, and they're not really doing anything. They're just watching their kids. They're just like tapping away on their phones, shopping, running around, doing whatever, and their kids are just running amok. It was really irritating me because my kids, not to brag, but my kids are pretty well behaved compared to most, and I always get compliments on this because I actually train my kids and I discipline them well. So when my daughter got online to do whatever she wanted to do, she was constantly getting overrun by these little brats, and it kept making me wanted to go off on these little brats. But I couldn't really, I couldn't do anything to someone else's child. I can't do anything to someone else's child. I can't touch someone else's child. I can't go over and say, "Oh, where's your mom? I'm going to tell your mom that you're doing this, that you're pushing my child over." So I'm just sitting there trying to just telling Soraya to wait and be patient, and trying to keep her out of the way of the brats kind of roughhousing. So it's her turn to go inside the bounce house, and this one little brat boy just kind of crawls over her, just rudely crawling over my daughter, crawling over her arms, crawling on her fingers, just totally knocking her out of the way so he can get in first. And he wasn't even in line. It wasn't even his turn yet. So I'm sitting there like, woosah, just calm. And my daughter, she was looking at me like, what's going on here? And I'm like, sorry, I just deal with it. Just yeah, and it's really sad that I can't really do anything. These parents, they just don't care. They're sitting there trying to go natural with their hair, thinking they're all that because they're going natural, really thinking they're doing something with their lives, and their kids act like total brats. They have no respect. They're running around cussing up a storm, stepping on other people's kids, knocking them over, everything. and it's just a huge pet peeve of mine. So yeah, Soraya proceeded to get knocked over at that event, and I just kept trying to shield her, kept trying to get her out of the way. And the other thing was that the person who was in charge of the bounce house, she was getting frustrated too. She was looking at me, we were looking at each other like, what is wrong with these kids? Where are these kids' parents? The parents nowhere to be found, just sitting there chilling again, typing away on their phones, whatever they're doing. And me and the lady were just looking like, well, okay. And I was looking at her like, I really hope you're getting paid for this. I hope you're not just a volunteer to where, you're not getting paid. She probably was a volunteer, because at this World Natural Hair Show, they call for volunteers a lot. So she probably wasn't getting paid. But anyway, it was just the fact that you can't control someone else's child. But I was really, really angry at that the kids who were actually acting like they had some sense were getting overrun by the brats, and the parents were nowhere to be found. They're nowhere to be found, and they just didn't care. They're just sitting there like, oh well, I'm here to get my hair education on, and I could care less what my child is doing. I just brought them just for the hell of it because I have no one else to watch them because they're such a brat. Really? That's just irritating to me. You want to go natural, and that's not the end all and be all of life. Having your hair natural, it's just not. You big chop, you do whatever you can to keep your hair healthier, but that's not the end all and be all of life. Being natural has so much more to it than just being natural with your hair. It's a total life change. If you're in it to win it, as I like to say, if you're in this thing to as a lifestyle and you want to stick to it, then you need to learn how to change your whole life around. Just your whole life for the better. Not, still being all ghetto and whatnot, and just letting your kids be ghetto. And that's it's just not working. People need to learn how to train their kids. People need to do better with that. It's just annoying that my children are always the ones getting stomped on and run over at these events when they're supposed to be out having fun. And other people's kids just don't know how to act. They don't train them. They just don't. And that's really a pet peeve of mine. People, we really need to do better. If you're watching this channel and you go to these events and you know your child is bad, either don't bring them or just train them beforehand. Just do something. Because you make it bad for other people. You make other moms look at you and your child like you guys just don't have any sense. You need to train your child before taking them to these events, because it's just not right. It's just not. It makes black people continue to look bad over and over and over and over. We're bragging about being natural, but your child is off the chain. It's just not cool. What's the point of being natural if you're not going to naturally train your child to have respect for other people? I mean, that's just ridiculous in my opinion. So, yeah, that's just my little rant. And I'm supposed to be going to another hair event soon. Probably this weekend. And again, they're going to be kid events, and I'm really hoping that the kids that are going to be there are going to have more sense than ones I've seen in the past, because my children don't act like that. They often look at me strangely when things go on, when people just run them over, and I'm looking like, I'm so sorry, kids. This is just how the world is, unfortunately. I can't really shield them from it. I can just tell them how to teach them in different ways how to talk to people and how to deal with certain things like that. In a nice way, to not have, someone come try to cuss them out or anything, because I will go off if some kid tries to cuss out my kid and they're not even doing anything. So, yeah, that's my little rant for the day. Have you guys been through this? I'm quite sure if you've been through a few natural events so far, you probably have gone through this. Your child's well behaved, and some little brat comes out of nowhere and tries to show out, and the mom is not doing anything. She thinks she's all that because she's got the best hair products, and her hair is just popping. Her curls are popping, but her kids are just bopping all over the place. And no, just let's do better, people, please. I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe.
Get your kids in check. You heard me? You heard me? Get them in check. Right now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.